that a judge really did that. They're deranged is all I can.
Do you think our democracy is at risk in this election?
I think that it is. I always keep saying democracy is great, of course. But democracy people take for granted. It's a word that some people don't even understand. They take it for granted. It's about right and wrong.
You know it's going to be a chaotic day when Robert De Niro calls out Pam Bondi and sends Donald Trump into a full-blown volcanic meltdown. 1 minute, Bondi's spinning Trump's greatest legal hits like a DJ with no records, and the next, De Niro steps in, drops one brutal truth bomb, and suddenly, Trump's spiraling like a carnival ride with a broken engine. We're talking full rage face, incoherent rambling, and enough denial to fill a Mar-a-Lago ballroom. Curious how one legendary actor can trigger a MAGA meltdown just by speaking facts. Stick around. This political drama just turned into a Scorsese movie.
I've made it clear, if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, we will find you, arrest you, and put you behind bars. Today, I'm proud to announce that the Department of Justice has unsealed federal charges against another Tesla attacker. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens.
Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss this. Pam Bondi walked into a televised debate like she was the star of a legal drama penned by the producers of The Apprentice, fully convinced the script would bend to her will. But someone forgot to mention that Robert De Niro was also in the cast, and he came prepared with facts, fury, and the undeniable energy of a man who's been waiting decades to publicly roast every sycophantic lawyer fueling a political dumpster fire.
We are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens.
It kicked off like every Pam Bondi appearance, packed with deflection, dripping in condescension, and topped with the smug certainty of someone who thinks Google is part of a liberal conspiracy. She challenged De Niro's views like she was cross-examining him in a courtroom made entirely of Fox News headlines and expired Diet Coke. And then De Niro? He didn't flinch, didn't blink, didn't even lean in. He simply dropped a verbal bomb on Bondi so flawlessly that the room fell into stunned silence. Jaws hit the floor, and somewhere, Trump probably spilled his Diet Sprite in a fit of rage.
It stops today. New York didn't listen. So now, you're not.
In all her courtroom cosplay glory, Bondi tried to shove De Niro into the Hollywood elite corner. You know the drill. When you can't defend insurrection, corruption, or classified documents flushed down the toilet, just shout Hollywood. And hope people forget you were last seen fumbling through the impeachment defense like it was karaoke night at Mar-a-Lago.
Let's go back to Pam Bondi yesterday, who makes it very clear it is a new day.
But this wasn't a movie. This was live TV, and Robert De Niro wasn't acting. He delivered a monologue that should be carved into a marble slab and placed outside every courthouse Trump ever tried to storm with a Sharpie and a cheeseburger. He called her out, not just for being wrong, but for knowing she was wrong and doing it anyway, for clinging to power through misdirection, for being part of the Trump legal circus where facts are optional and loyalty gets you weekend spots. On Newsmax, the TikTok clip went nuclear. Viral doesn't even cover it. It was the kind of video that made teenagers pause their dance challenges to Google, who is Pam Bondi, and why is Robert De Niro giving her a public wedgie with words? Millions watched, shared, laughed, and collectively screamed, finally.
And Mark Schroeder, this is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stopped.
While De Niro's delivery was calm, his message hit like a sledgehammer. He peeled back the layers of Bondi's faux outrage and exposed how her entire career had been a loyalty test to a man who once wondered if bleach could cure COVID. He pointed out how she spent more time defending a failed reality TV host than understanding basic legal processes like subpoenas. Trump's response? As predictable as ever, he went full Twitter mode, a rage blackout in full swing, allegedly shouting into the void about how Hollywood thugs were attacking beautiful patriots like Pam. You'd think De Niro had set fire to the Constitution, but all he did was suggest that enabling authoritarian behavior for 4 years might not be the best look. The best part? Bondi didn't see it coming. She tried to clap back, but the moment had already passed. The internet had declared her the loser of a fight she started with the wrong man. Trying to verbally spar with De Niro is like bringing a water gun to an explosion. You can try, but all you're doing is soaking your own reputation. Meanwhile, Trump was melting down faster than a MAGA hat on a barbecue grill. He doesn't like it when people fight back, and he especially doesn't like it when they do it with facts, eloquence,
But
and
I
the
do see that the governor of New York now is putting the National Guard in the subway. As a New Yorker, what do you think of that? What do you think they'd say if he did it?
Well, if he did it, it's for another reason. Her doing it, I haven't heard about it. They just told me just before, but I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I'm not happy about it,
But crime in New York, you know something about that.
Well, I
You've
don't.
played it. It's happened to you.
I don't have.
Got rid of the
that's
filth.
organized crime.
She tried to recover, sort of. Bondi attempted the usual tricks: deflect, pivot, toss in buzzwords like witch hunt and constitutional overreach, like she was playing political Mad Libs. But the damage was done. De Niro didn't just call her out. He methodically dismantled her entire strategy, layer by layer, like peeling off a bad spray tan. You could see it in her face, the moment of realization when she thought, "Oh no, I'm not winning this." It was that split second, freeze you'd get from a law student who studied civil procedure only to walk into a criminal law exam. Except in Bondi's case, she probably skipped the reading altogether and brought nothing but a copy of Trump's Twitter feed printed on golden paper.
But I do see that the governor of New York now is putting the National Guard in the subway. As a New Yorker, what do you think of that? What do you think they'd say if he did it?
Well, if he did it, it's for another reason. Her doing it, I haven't heard about it. They just told me just before, but I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I'm not happy about it,
But crime in New York, you know something about that.
Well, I
You've
don't.
played it. It's happened to you.
Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, and I want to congratulate Pam. She's worked hard. She's going to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice and restore the constitutional rule of law in America. Going to end the weaponization of federal law enforcement and restore honesty and integrity at the DOJ and the FBI. And she's going to be working with Cash, and she's going to be working with a lot of other people that you've been reading about. So if you look at New York, if you look at Chicago, if you look at Los Angeles,
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Let's be real. Bondi's track record is less about seasoned legal expertise and more about being a political seat warmer with a microphone. She's like the lawyer equivalent of a chicken nugget, processed, inoffensive to the base, and entirely devoid of any real substance. She talks in circles, parrots whatever Trump said last, and somehow still acts shocked when someone confronts her with actual evidence. And that's exactly why she never stood a chance. Robert De Niro wasn't just challenging her views, he was dismantling her entire act, her whole career of relying on vague outrage, faux victimhood, and legal jargon meant to impress people who stopped reading the news years ago. He stripped it all down to what it really was: performance art for those who confuse loyalty with legality. The irony? Bondi actually thought she could out-debate De Niro. She walked into a battle with a man who's delivered more iconic courtroom monologues than she's ever filed motions, and thought, "I got this." It's like challenging Gordon Ramsay to a grilled cheese competition with only a slice of plastic and a half-eaten Pop-Tart as your ingredients.
What we have here is a denial of truth all over the place.
As the video continued to gain traction, Trump's allies scrambled to do damage control. Newsmax aired a segment suggesting that Robert De Niro was senile and out of touch, coming from a group whose most recent grasp of current events likely came from an email titled "Gas Stoves Banned by Biden." Fox News tried to pivot the narrative with a segment titled Is Hollywood meddling in our sacred legal institutions? As if Pam Bondi hasn't already turned the courts into a bad SNL sketch. Meanwhile, Bondi went completely silent. Not a peep. Not a tweet, not even a fake smile posted with a Bible verse on Instagram. Her silence spoke louder than De Niro's takedown. It was the sound of someone who had run out of talking points and finally realized that defending Trump isn't about lawyering. It's about brand management for a brand that's rapidly crumbling. And make no mistake, this brand is in free fall. Lawsuits are piling up, criminal referrals are being handed out like Halloween candy, and the legal arguments are flimsier than a paper straw in a MAGA milkshake. Bondi, instead of doing her job as an attorney, keeps acting like she's auditioning for a spot on Trump's next reality show reboot, America's Next Top Fall Guy.
So I traveled with President Trump in 2016 before he was president, then after he was president, all over the country. He would always go up, I don't care if there were 100 people in the room, he would go up to the law enforcement officers and shake their hands and thank them for what they do. And that's what we can all still be doing, because there are still so many great men and women out there who wear the uniform, given all the risk, all the perils that we've talked about this evening.
Niro didn't need to yell or insult. He simply told the truth, backed by decades of moral authority and a hefty dose of New York sarcasm. And just like that, the whole empire of spin came crashing down. But what really made the moment iconic wasn't just his delivery, it was the utter collapse of Bondi's courtroom confidence. You could practically see her internal cue cards wilting under the weight of actual accountability. Niro walked in armed with nothing but facts and left with meme status, cementing a permanent spot on the bad takes bench. As the clip continued to circulate, the fallout became clear. Pam Bondi, who normally appears on cable news more often than pharmaceutical ads, vanished from the spotlight. No MSNBC rebuttal, no Fox News damage control, not even a half-hearted statement in Comic Sans on Facebook. It was as if someone had pulled her plug, or worse, handed her a mirror. Meanwhile, Niro didn't follow up with a press tour or a victory lap. He just let the truth sink in and let the internet do the rest. Because when you hit someone with that much honesty, you don't need to keep swinging. You just drop the mic and let the silence do the work. And that silence? It echoed through cable news, political threads, Reddit rabbit holes, and dinner tables all across America.
And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois. Strike one. Strike two is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next. Get ready. And what New York has, they have green light laws, meaning they're giving a green light to any illegal alien in New York, where law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over. Officers do not have access to their background. And if these great men and women pull over someone and don't have access to their background, they have no idea who they're dealing with. And it puts their lives on the line every single day. Violent criminals, gang members, drug traffickers,